there are moments in life that shift the very ground we walk on. The birth of a child, the loss of a loved one. And somewhere between those two sacred events, there exists a place of profound silence, the final days before death. Most of us fear it, resist it, avoid it. But what if we understood it? What if death was not a terrifying ending, but a sacred transformation? Hospice nurses, those humble and unseen warriors of compassion, spend more time at the bedside of the dying than almost anyone else on earth. They do not speak in theories. They speak in truths, in patterns, in whispers between breaths. After caring for thousands, they've noticed 5 powerful signs that do not come from textbooks, but from the human spirit preparing to journey home. And today I want to share them with you, not to frighten, but to empower. Because knowledge brings peace, and peace brings the strength to be fully present, not just for others, but for ourselves. Let's walk together through the 5 sacred signs that often appear before death, and let us do it with calm, courage, and the wisdom of stillness. Sign 1. Withdrawal from the outside world. The soul turns inward. The first sign appears not with a bang, but with a whisper. A quiet pulling away. A soft retreat from the noise of the world. It begins slowly. Fewer conversations, shorter answers. Eyes that remain closed a little longer. It might look like sadness to the untrained eye, but hospice nurses know it is not depression. Imagine a candle in a still room, the flame growing smaller but not out. The soul begins to detach from the physical world. Not out of fear, but with intention. The body is conserving energy. The mind is turning inward. And the spirit is listening to something beyond our reach. I once sat with a man named Walter, 84 years old, once the life of every party. In his final days, he no longer wanted music, visitors, or television. He sat quietly, blinds drawn. His daughter, confused and worried, asked him if he wanted to watch their favorite show one last time. Walter simply smiled and said, "Not today. No fear, no drama, just stillness." This is the first step in the sacred process. Detachment. It is the soul turning its attention away from time and towards the eternal. It's not rejection. For those of us beside them, all we can do is honor their stillness, sit in silence, hold their hand, breathe with them. Do not pull them back into the world. Let them walk gently toward whatever awaits. Sign 2. Breathing changes. The body learns to let go. The breath, something we rarely notice in life, becomes everything near its end. One of the most universal signs of approaching death is a shift in how a person breathes. This pattern has a name: Cheyne-Stokes respiration. It's a rhythm of breathing that ebbs and flows like the ocean, sometimes deep, sometimes shallow, sometimes not at all. To those watching, it can be alarming. The pauses grow longer. The breath becomes irregular. There may be moments of silence so long you believe it's over, until the next breath comes, gently, from nowhere. But hospice nurses say this is not suffering, it is transition. The body is not failing, it is simplifying. It is releasing control. It is following the ancient rhythm that all life must one day follow. A woman named Dorothy once said, "Breathing is the music we don't notice until it changes." She was a choir singer for decades. In her final days, her daughter sat by her side, matching her own breath with her mother's slow, peaceful rhythm. There were no machines, no panic, just harmony. We must remember, breathing changes are not always a sign of distress. They are a sign of return. The body is doing what it was designed to do. Slowly, gently, it is preparing to rest. Emotional and physical detachment, a gentle farewell. Another pattern hospice nurses observe is withdrawal on an even deeper level, emotional and physical. This is not just a quietness. It is a stepping back from the world itself. You may see your loved one sleep more, speak less, eat less. They may stop reacting to things they once loved. The TV might stay off, photos might be left untouched. Even when awake, they may drift into long periods of reflection, eyes open but focused on something distant. This is not confusion, this is clarity. Their attention has shifted from the external world to an inner realm we cannot see. James, an 84-year-old retired train engineer, spent his last days staring out the window. His granddaughter brought him a toy train, hoping it would bring a smile. He touched it, looked at her, and whispered, "That chapter's over. Not in sadness, in peace." Psychologically, this detachment helps the person prepare for death. It gives them space. It gives them stillness. It gives them sovereignty over their final days. Families often try to pull them back, asking questions, turning on favorite shows, urging them to eat. But true love, in these moments, means stepping back. It means respecting their sacred space. It means being a silent guardian rather than a cheerful entertainer. Your quiet presence is more powerful than any word. Just sit. Just breathe. Let them lead the way. Sign 4, the sudden surge, a final gift of energy. Of all the signs, this is the one that confuses families the most. It gives hope, but not for recovery, for closure. It's called a rally, a sudden burst of energy, alertness, or clarity that comes shortly before death. A person who has been silent may sit up and ask for food. A person who hasn't spoken in days may share memories, tell stories, or even laugh. It's not a sign that they are improving. It's a sign that something sacred is unfolding. It is as if the soul has been granted one final moment of light before stepping into the unknown. I remember George, a farmer who had been unresponsive for 3 days. One morning he opened his eyes, asked for coffee, and gave his son advice about the apple trees. That evening he passed peacefully. But his family received a gift. One last chance to say, "I love you." This rally may be a final release of adrenaline or endorphins. But emotionally, it offers families something more. Peace, forgiveness, clarity. If you are present during this time, do not waste it. Say what you need to say. Listen with your heart. These final bursts are not illusions. They are bridges. They are sacred windows into the soul's final preparation. Sign 5, the death rattle and final breath, nature's final lullaby. As the final moments draw near, breathing changes once more. The death rattle, a term that frightens many, is a wet, gurgling sound caused by mucus that can no longer be cleared. But nurses assure us, this is not pain, it is not suffering. In most cases, the person is already in a deep unconscious state. The body is no longer fighting. It is resting. It is returning to the earth in the same way a wave returns to the ocean. Carol, a woman who had been unconscious for 2 days, passed away while her daughter held her hand. She later described the experience as watching the tide roll out, not with fear, but with reverence. And that's what death truly is, a tide returning home. There is no need for panic, no need for last-minute miracles. The miracle is your presence. Whisper words of love. Touch their hand. Let your silence be a sanctuary, because in the end, death is not a horror. It is not failure. It is not defeat. It is the most secret chapter of the human journey. We avoid this topic because we fear what we don't understand. But understanding removes fear. And love removes all barriers. If you've ever sat beside someone during their final hours, you know, it is not chaos. It is not darkness. It is a quiet unfolding. It is a sacred rhythm, like birth, deserving of honor, gentleness, and grace. These 5 signs do not predict death. They do not control it. But they guide us, they help us prepare, and they remind us that dying is not an end, it is a return. So whether you are caring for someone now or preparing your own heart for the road ahead, I offer this message. Be not afraid. Be present, be gentle, because the most powerful act is not to save someone from death, but to walk beside them as they journey home. And that, my friends, is true courage. That is love in its purest form. Thank you for listening.